Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy. Today we're looking at the Grenadier Quartermaster. I'll include a link to Warner Ineos' website in the description down below. They're the ones that are providing us with this Quartermaster. Also include a link to my carbine guide. Let's get right into it. Under the hood we have a turbo 3-liter inline 6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic. Fuel economy is rated at 15 around town, 15 on the highway. I can tell you with my station wagon I get 17-18 miles per gallon. Power outputs are 282 horsepower and then 331 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So similar to old school off-roaders, this has a very upright windshield. You can add checker plates here on the front fenders, but you notice that it has this cool tapered look where you've got the hood there in the center and then you've got those large squared off front fenders. Now just like the station wagon, you've got these circular headlights with the daytime running lights, and then you've got the off-road lights there in the center. We've got these heavy-duty off-road bumpers, parking sensors integrated. This one has the red recovery points. You also notice we've got skid plate protection underneath. So when you put it all together, this and the Gladiator are really the only pickup trucks that are boxy like this. Now our tire wheel setup is 255 by 70 by 18. You notice we got the silver on the outside of the wheel with the satin gray in the center. This one has the red frame, which is an option, definitely a cool option. Anyways, it's got a solid front axle. Big chunky fender flares here on the side. You got a little turn signal indicator light with the venting. We've got these squared off mirrors, and then you notice that you can actually attach stuff to the side of the body. And then this just has standard fixed shocks, and then we have a solid rear axle. And here's your side profile. It's very similar to the station wagon, just has a truck bed. Now when it comes to the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function. You got a little flip out key as well. And being a truck, well, we've got a tailgate. Now this is not dampened, so you do have to lower it down under your own effort. The spare tire is mounted here in the bed, and there is a slot to mount another one if you want. And you notice the bed is nicely protected already. And this is basically a mid-size pickup truck, but I will say this is a pretty big bed for a mid-size. Circular taillights just like the station wagon, and it says Grenadier there in the tailgate. Got more red recovery points and then a receiver hitch out back. Now, although I prefer the station wagon styling, I think this still looks really cool for a pickup truck. And Quartermaster here on the side kind of completes it. Let's pop inside. Got this rugged, durable trim up top. You can see nice stitching down below and then some storage at the bottom. This one has the upgraded leather seats. Again, they've got really nice stitching. Now there's not as much legroom as what you have in the station wagon, but I still fit back here. And I do get some vents and some USB ports as well. And because of the boxy design, headroom back here is good. Let's now take a look up front. More of that rugged trim up top. We got the squared off mirrors. They are power adjustable. You've got all your window controls. Payload capacity is 1556, which is solid for a mid-size. And if you're wondering, this weighs about 6,200 pounds. Really nice trim here on the front seats. They are Recaros and they are manually adjustable. Now, although this one has carpeted floor mats, the floor underneath is really easy to clean. And flip out key to start her up. Now I've got this nice 2-spoke steering wheel with leather trim around. It has the Grenadier logo at the bottom, and then it's got nice perforated trim in the center. This of course comes with a little toot function there. It's a bicycle horn, and you get your volume and radio controls there too. This does have a normal horn in the center and then cruise control on the other side. Traditional stocks there on the back. Now this is basically just a warning cluster to let you know what's happening with the vehicle, if there's something wrong or if your headlights are on. And it gives you a really good view over the hood. I definitely love that. Pretty standard setup with the backup camera in reverse. Now your speedometer and all of that's on the left side of the infotainment screen. It also lets you know your fuel range, what gear you're in, and all of that. As for the infotainment system itself, it's actually pretty darn quick to respond for the most part. It does take a second though for some of the pages to actually load up. This has a compass and an inclinometer down below, which is kind of a fun off-road feature. Tons of physical controls for everything, like the heated seats, for example, and everything has a nice tactile feel. Your climate controls are built in here. Auto stop start if you want to turn that off, your parking sensors. Here's our 4-wheel drive select. So you can have it in high or low with the center diff unlocked. You can also have it in high or low with the center diff locked. It's a square pattern. We do have the little BMW shifter. You get used to it in like 2.5 seconds. That actually functions really well. You got your emergency brake next to it. Physical controls for the infotainment system if you don't want to use the touchscreen for some reason. Cup holders behind that. And this has a very squared off center console, kind of like a Wrangler or a Gladiator, and also has a grab handle there on the dash. This particular one is equipped with the Safari windows, which definitely let in a lot more light. Up top, you got a bunch of switches to add auxiliary items and cockpit style, so cool. This one's also equipped with the diff locks for the front and for the rear. You've got your off-road mode and your waiting mode. You've got your light controls up top, and then you can also put it into ESC off-road if you want, or turn it off, and then you got your downhill assist. And then those are just interior light controls. So here's our window sticker for this Quartermaster. They kind of changed their window sticker layout, which I really like, because now it shows you the different options and how much those options actually cost, but $102,775 is the total MSRP on this. Let's see how it performs. Well, let's set off in the Quartermaster, see how the pickup truck version performs. I've owned a station wagon for over a year now and absolutely loved it. Really cool vehicle. It's super unique. You do have to make some concessions with this in terms of, you know, like you got to stick the key in the ignition. Everything's manual. It's not quite as like techy and luxurious as other modern off-roaders, but I think that's, to me, that's the big appeal, is they put all the money into the hardware, into the durability, rather than into silly tech. Now, with the truck compared to the station wagon, the truck does weigh a little bit less than the station wagon. Doesn't really feel any quicker, but it is a little bit more comfortable with the ride. Longer wheelbase compared to the station wagon. Makes sense, right? When you hit a bump up front, it takes a little bit longer to hit that same bump in the back, and so you're going to have a little bit more of a comfortable ride compared to what you get in the station wagon. Station wagon's not uncomfortable at all, though. Now the torque with this, oh, window sticker flew off. It's great. This BMW engine has so much low-end torque. It is absolutely fantastic. Now I think it would still be cool for more powertrain options, but as a powertrain option and as the only one you can get right now, this is great. This is exactly I think what you kind of want in this type of vehicle. Lots of low-end torque, and it's pretty darn efficient for what it is. I mean, you gotta remember, this vehicle weighs over 6,000 pounds, and I have been able to easily get 17, 18 miles per gallon in my station wagon. Now, a lot of people complain about the steering. Here's my 2 cents as someone who's owned one for a year now. You get used to it, and it's honestly not that bad. Like, you got to do a little bit more work because it's a recirculating ball rack, but once you get used to it, it just becomes second nature. Like I'm driving, you know, for example, this week I am driving a couple of unibody crossovers, like as different as you can get from this, right? This is body and frame, solid axles, recirculating ball rack. Those are unibody crossovers with super direct electronic power steering. I get in this and it's like, boom. It's kind of like riding a bike. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize when they drive one of these, like just one time, is the steering is like, I don't know about that. But then once you drive one for a while, just like riding a bike, if you haven't ridden a bike in a while, maybe it takes, for me it doesn't really take a second, but maybe it takes you a second, and then boom. It's like, okay, you just kind of drive a little bit different. Like with an electronic rack, what I'd say is your hands are on the steering kind of like all the time. With this, you probably noticed when I went around the corner, I let the steering wheel just kind of feed through my hand a bit. So you kind of you just drive a little bit differently. And then, you know, the overspeed warning thing, you just turn it off. I have it set to my favorite button, so if I get like the ding in my car, I just press the favorite button, turn it off, good to go. So why should you get one of these? What's the big benefit of this over like a Gladiator? Because it is more expensive than a Gladiator. Build quality, durability. The Gladiator is a light duty vehicle. This is a heavy duty vehicle. We don't have a lot of vehicles like this in the US market, and so people in the US aren't as familiar with it. A good example is Land Cruiser Prado versus full-size Land Cruiser. Land Cruiser Prado light duty, full-size Land Cruiser heavy duty. This is like a full-size Land Cruiser in terms of the build, whereas the Gladiator is like a Land Cruiser Prado in terms of the build. So they're both going to be as capable off-road. The difference, this is going to last a lot longer. The suspension components, the body, all of that stuff is going to last longer because everything's more beefed up. And so that's what you're paying for. So if you're into overlanding, if you're into keeping vehicles for a long period of time, durability is going to be a lot, I would say it is a lot more important. So that's the Quartermaster. It basically gives you the Grenadier experience with a pickup truck bed. I think it's going to be more niche than the station wagon because the station wagon is probably going to meet most people's needs. But for people that are like, I would say hardcore into overlanding, this is probably the rig to get, because I'm sure they'll have aftermarket support soon where you can take off the bed that they have there currently and get like a crazy overlanding setup back there. I think that would be the big benefit with the Quartermaster here, is the for the overlanding community. But let me know your thoughts.